hellfire if the leadership of the house is not paying attention. O you who believe, save yourselves and your family from that fire. That is our responsibility. That is our calling, our task, that we have to do whatever it takes to save our families from that fire. What could be going on? If you look into society now, in this day and age, there's all kind of things that are infecting and causing spiritual diseases in family life. That's causing families to be disrupted and fragmented. Families are becoming fragmented and dysfunctional because there's too many things going on that's affecting it that the leadership of the household, the leadership of the home is allowing to happen. We allow any type of entertainment to come into the house, be it on television or internet. The negative influences of the household, husbands and wives not getting along and arguing and fussing and fighting in front of the children, and the negative influences of the environment or people in the environment who don't think about God, and we allow them to be a part of the family, be so close to the family, to forget about salat in the house, the prayer in the house. We know brothers should pray at the masjid, but there should be some time when the head of the house is praying with his family, studying the religion with his family, reading the Quran and the traditions of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam with his family, strengthening the family bond with interaction with the family. That's how you save a family from the hellfire. But you have to have that attitude yourself. We, as the leaders of the household, and that means the mothers and the fathers, should be very careful to increase their taqwa, to increase their ibadah. We have to increase our ibadah, save ourselves from the hellfire, focus on pleasing Allah, and doing those things in the household that demonstrate the allegiance to Allah and worship of Allah and loyalty to the sunnah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When we strengthen our families with the deen, strengthen our families with increased ibadah, and focus on that, and safeguard our families by protecting them from the negative influences of shaitan and the negative influence of the environment that gives itself to shaitan, to the shaitanic influence. That's how we begin to save our families, but we have to make up in our mind that that's what we want. Too often, sometimes, you'll find families where the leadership of the house won't even practice regular daily salat. And so the family doesn't view it as something that's important. Sometimes the leadership of the household won't even frequent the masjid, or the leadership of the house won't even stop at a certain time for the family to pray together in the house. The leadership will allow unfruitful conversation to take place, something that's not beneficial. Sometimes the leadership of the home, the mother or the father, will allow people to come and visit the home that will influence in a negative way the interaction with the family. The parents won't pay attention to the friends that their children make. So in order for us to be able to save our families from the fire, we have to be willing not only to have a positive influence on a good, positive environment in the home, a positive influence on the environment that's in the home, but we have to be courageous and truthful enough to give our family the truth about Islam. We cannot save the families by compromising.
Let me die in a state of Islam, alive my day.
The value of money in the hereafter will be measured by its proper use in the present.
يا أيها الذين آمنوا أنفقوا مما رزقناكم من قبل أن يأتي يوم لا بيع فيه ولا خلة ولا شفاعة.
According to the glorious Quran, one of the best ways to use your money is to spend it in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by spreading His message of Islam. Peace TV is a non-profit Islamic satellite television channel that is primarily dedicated for just that cause, the proper presentation of Islam. It's a great choice to invest in it and a golden opportunity to purify your wealth in a way that pleases Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Support Peace TV. Send your zakat and donations to IRFI Al Ryan Bank, 47 Calthorpe Road, Birmingham, UK, B151TH. Pound account number 011-32301. IBAN GB49ARAY 30008301 132301. Sort code 300083. Swift BIC code ARAY GB22. Please confirm your contribution at support@peacetv.tv.
Support Peace TV, the solution for humanity.
I am declaring jihad. And I am inviting all my brothers and sisters in Islam to join in that jihad. And I am inviting all my brothers and sisters in humanity to join me in that jihad. And I'm absolutely sure that every human being is engaged in jihad every day without realizing it. Saving this planet and the environment is a form of jihad.
Join Dr. Jamal Badawi in Peace and Justice every Sunday at 5:30 p.m. and repeat telecast at 4 a.m. UK on Peace TV.
Let me die in a state of Islam, like my day.
When we strengthen our families with the deen, strengthen our families with increased ibadah, and focus on that, and safeguard our families by protecting them from the negative influences of shaitan and the negative influence of the environment that gives itself to shaitan, to the shaitanic influence. That's how we begin to save our families, but we have to make up in our mind that that's what we want. Too often, sometimes, you'll find families where the leadership of the house won't even practice regular daily salat. And so the family doesn't view it as something that's important. Sometimes the leadership of the household won't even frequent the masjid, or the leadership of the house won't even stop at a certain time for the family to pray together in the house. The leadership will allow unfruitful conversation to take place, something that's not beneficial. Sometimes the leadership of the home, the mother or the father, will allow people to come and visit the home that will influence in a negative way the interaction with the family. The parents won't pay attention to the friends that their children make. So in order for us to be able to save our families from the fire, we have to be willing not only to have a positive influence on a good, positive environment in the home, a positive influence on the environment that's in the home, but we have to be courageous and truthful enough to give our family the truth about Islam. We cannot save the families by compromising, dear brothers and sisters. We can't compromise the deen and expect our families to get stronger. We can't just go with the status quo and say and do things that just make everybody comfortable and happy. As leaders of households, it is not our responsibility just to make everybody feel good. It is not our responsibility to make everybody comfortable in what they're doing if it's against the Quran and Sunnah. That's not our job. That's not our responsibility. Don't you get it? Allah didn't give us families just so that we can make everybody comfortable and happy. We have to raise our family. We have to protect our family. Allah says in the Quran that men are protectors and maintainers of women. And the woman has a vital role in the family life. If we protect and maintain the women, then the woman will make sure that the children are okay. So our responsibility first is to look at ourselves. If we're struggling to save ourselves from the hellfire, then we know the best way to save ourselves from hellfire is to focus on Allah and His messenger and keep the families focused on Allah. Because we will go to hell if we don't play a stronger leadership role for our families. That's how we protect ourselves from the hellfire. He says, save yourself and save your families. But we have to be strong and we have to be assertive to inject a strong dose of truth and righteousness, el-haq, into the household. And don't compromise everything. Sometimes some parents are so intimidated by their children that they're afraid their children won't like them if they tell them the truth. They won't like them if they don't spoil them and buy them video games that are harmful for them. We don't encourage the children and teach them the importance of making salat at the exact calculated timings. We won't encourage them to read and memorize as much of the Quran as possible because we're intimidated by them. Some women are intimidated by brutal husbands who are not close to the deen. And so they intimidate their whole families instead of trying to embrace them with the love and the contentment that Islam brings. But we don't want to tell each other the truth. We're so intimidated by this love that we think that we should be displaying. True love is a love that's demonstrated as if the house was on fire. But there is a fire, the fire of hell, that we will actually feel in the most physical way if we go there. And we pray Allah will protect us from the hellfire. But we cannot compromise the religion when our family's life is at stake. We have a responsibility. Don't run from your responsibility, brothers. We can't do that. Brothers go to the masjid and sit around in halakas and argue about hadith that might be da'if. We're so courageous when it comes to talking to other people and arguing with other people about religion, but we won't sit down with our families and take time, turn off the television set, and sit down with our families and teach the deen. Make a special effort to read the Quran together. Prophet Muhammad taught us that Allah told the angels, he said, send blessings upon the household that read the Quran. And the angels said, how do we know which households are reading the Quran? These are the special angels of paradise. They said, how do we know which households are reading the Quran? He said, because when they're reading the Quran, the light will shine from their house up to the highest heaven. Just follow that light. And the Prophet, peace be upon him, also teaches us that for every single letter that we read, Allah gives us 10 rewards, 10 hasanat. Read the Quran as a family, whether it's just one page, even if it's only one page or a few ayats. Bring down the blessings of Allah into your household. And that's one way to bond the family together to protect it from the hellfire. Don't be afraid of the light, brothers and sisters. Don't deny that right of your family to have a full-fledged dose, a regular daily dose of Islam in the household. Don't let our children grow up thinking that being Muslim is only a title that you wear. Of course we inherited the name Muslim, Allah told us that. But we want our children to inherit Islam. Teach them what that Shahadatain means and let them digest it and internalize it. That's how we help save them from the fire. We should teach our children to internalize, I bear witness there is no God except Allah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. And then I bear witness, Ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. I bear witness that Muhammad is a prophet and messenger of Allah. And what does that mean to us? If we're bearing witness, if we're teaching our children, our families, our wives, don't you know that one of the reasons sisters aren't obligated to go to the masjid, we have to let them go if they ask. That's what the Prophet, peace be upon him, said. Because we're responsible to teach our wives and our children Islam, brothers. That's how we save them from the hellfire. Don't run from our responsibility. Too many brothers are running from their responsibility. We have to be imams over the household. Save yourselves and your family from the fire. Be imams of the household. We have gone from being children who are afraid of the dark to becoming adults who are afraid of the light. We have to stand up and be men. Stand up and be leaders. Encourage and strengthen each other. Wives, you should speak up. Strengthen your husband. That's what you're there for. You're not there just to cook and clean. You don't have to do that anyway. According to the Sunnah, you're not even obligated to cook and clean. The Prophet, peace be upon him, he helped cook and clean in the house. Strengthen your husband. A weak man is intimidated by a strong woman, but a strong man is encouraged by one. You sisters, your husband laying in the bed and it's time for Fajr, kick him out of the bed. Tell him, go to the masjid. What you doing here? Go to the masjid and pray with the brothers at the masjid. I'll hold the fort. I'll hold down the fort. I will pray here in the house and send blessings on this household. That's my job. The sisters get the blessings 25 to 27 times, the blessings for praying in the house. Like the brothers get 25 to 27 times for praying in the masjid. You sisters, be strong. Strengthen your husband. Don't let him lay around the house when he's supposed to be praying. Don't let him become a couch potato, sitting around watching football game after football game, basketball game, sitting around with his big belly, sitting on the couch, sipping lemonade, watching television. He should be teaching you and teaching the children and going to the masjid when it's time for salat. Be strong, brothers and sisters. Be strong if you want to strengthen your family. That's the only way to save them from the hellfire. The best way to save your families from the hellfire is to give a full 100% thoroughbred, uninterrupted dose of Islam 24/7 in your household. There's no other way to save the family. You can't use any other formula. Dr. Phil can't save your family. Oprah can't save your family. None of these other TV talk shows, these people can't save your family. Psychiatrists can't save your family. You have to use the Quran and Sunnah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to save yourself and your family from that fire. Let's focus on saving our families, and if we strengthen the Muslim families, we strengthen the Ummah, we can strengthen humanity. Once we do that, there is a possibility and a bigger chance we can make an impact on world peace. Let's save our families from the fire. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Oh Lord, help me to remember you, to thank you and to worship you. I uphold my covenant as much as I can. Let me die in a state of Islam. My life, my death is all for you. You are the only one worthy of praise. But you are the most high. You are the only one worthy of praise.
The value of money in the hereafter will be measured by its proper use in the present.
يا أيها الذين آمنوا أنفقوا مما رزقناكم من قبل أن يأتي يوم لا بيع فيه ولا خلة ولا شفاعة.
According to the glorious Quran, one of the best ways to use your money is to spend it in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by spreading His message of Islam. Peace TV is a non-profit Islamic satellite television channel that is primarily dedicated for just that cause, the proper presentation of Islam. It's a great choice to invest in it and a golden opportunity to purify your wealth in a way that pleases Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Support Peace TV. Send your zakat and donations to IRFI Al Ryan Bank, 47 Calthorpe Road, Birmingham, UK, B151TH. Pound account number 011-32301. IBAN GB49ARAY 30008301 132301. Sort code 300083. Swift BIC code ARAY GB TB22. Please confirm your contribution at support@peacetv.tv.
Support Peace TV, the solution for humanity.
Analyze your mistakes.
Have you ever tried to overcome your anger?
Realize your weakness.
Do you find it difficult to control your tongue?
Diagnose your moral sickness.
Have you ever felt that your intentions are corrupt?
Learn the steps essential to nourish our souls in purification of the soul. Tonight at 11:30 p.m. and repeat telecast at 12:30 p.m. UK on Peace TV. Marriage or divorce?
What's Islamic ruling?
Nikah.
Solution or problem? Heaven or hell?
There is a misconception.
You choose. Beauty, wealth, family status, virtue. Decide what you want. Decide your choice. Be sad or be happy. It's your choice. Join Dr. Zakir Naik in Better Half or Bitter Half tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. and repeat telecast at 9:30 a.m. UK on Peace TV. Peace TV English, the solution for humanity.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على عبده ورسوله الأمين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. We're still discussing the final major fiqh rule. Customs are binding. Al-'adatu muhakkama. And we spoke about two sub-rules. And we tried to finish, inshallah, and conclude this episode if Allah Azza wa Jal wills and makes our affairs easy. The third sub-rule is إنما تعتبر العادة إذا اضطردت أو غلبت. And we took this before. A custom is only considered when it is consistent and established. Which means that if a custom is known only for me and you, not in the community, this is not considered to be established and it is not consistent. So it has to have the consistency among the society. For example, in my community, it is well established that if the marriage contract between a man and a woman is written, this is zawaj or aqd al-nikah. As long as she is still in her father's house, the man is not allowed to have any illegal. It is legal because she's his wife. But because she is still in her father's house, he cannot have with her intimacy as a man and a wife, though she is his wife. If one of them dies, what will happen? He will inherit the other. She becomes halal for him. He is her mahram. He can sit with her, he can touch her, she's his wife, but not to have intimacy. Why? Is it haram? Quran and Sunnah? No. But because the customs are binding and because the people have taken this as a consistent custom, then it is not permissible. Maybe in America, the custom is different. If someone marries a woman, immediately she becomes his wife, even if she is living with her family and he's living with his family. So as long as there is agreement, as long as the guardian gives permission, this is okay. Otherwise, the customs is not. Why? It's a very big possibility that they may have intimacy and she becomes pregnant and the boy dies or he divorces. And the people would say, she conceived of haram. The wedding did not take place. How did she conceive? So for protection and for minimizing the harm, this is prevented. Fourth rule is العبرة للغالب الشائع لا للنادر. العبرة للغالب الشائع لا للنادر. Consideration is given to what is widespread, not to the exception. So what applies is what is widely accepted, not the exceptions. For example, someone who left home and did not come back. We reported him missing. And after a while, the judge declares him to be dead. So the woman is a widow, inheritance is distributed. One would say, no, wait, this is not right. He might come back. So there is a possibility that he might come back. If he is 40 years old, 50 years old, then this is acceptable. But if he's 95 years old, then consideration is given to what is widespread, not the exception. The exception, if a 95 years old goes missing, that he's finished, expired. He had died somewhere. But a 40 or 50 years old, no, the possibility is much less. So you do not apply the exception because the consideration is given to what is widespread. And what is widespread is the 95-year-old, when he goes missing, the chances of him returning are negligible. Rule number 5, al-kitabu kal-khitab. Writing is like speaking. And this is the customs. If I go to you and I say, I sell you my house for 5,000, and you say, I accept, and we write this down. So this is as if I had said it verbally. I don't have to say it again. So in normal cases, whatever is written down, it takes the place of being said. Al-kitabu kal-khitab. However, when it comes to divorce, if someone sends a divorce to his wife in writing, we have to look at the circumstances. So if there is nothing wrong between them, and he simply writes an email, you're divorced, or he writes it on a piece of tissue or a paper, and she sees it, is this considered to be divorce? Scholars say, depending on the intention. If his intention was to divorce, it's a divorce. If the circumstances were encouraging to interpret it as divorce, it is a divorce. What do you mean by circumstances? They've been shouting for the past 5 hours. You're a donkey, you're a mule, you are a dog, you are a cat. And they're shouting and pulling each other's hair. After 5 hours, he takes a pen, a piece of paper, he says, you are divorced with a capital D. And then after half an hour, he says, no, I didn't mean it. No, we do not accept this. The circumstances state that he was divorcing. In normal circumstances, the divorce doesn't take place unless he intends it in writing. But if he says it, then it happens. If it's clear cut, if someone says to his wife, I love you, but you're divorced. then this is divorce. In Arabic, taliq means divorced, but it also means untied. If someone comes and finds his wife wrapped up in ropes and tied, so he removes the ropes and the chains and he says, Alhamdulillah, anti taliq. Now this is not taken as divorce because he is saying it in a linguistic term, so it doesn't take place. But in writing, it depends on the intention and it also depends on the circumstances. Number 6, al-isharat al-ma'huda lil-akhras kal-bayan bil-lisan. A person who cannot speak, his sign language is like talking to a normal person. And this is customs are binding. Now, if someone is mute, he cannot speak, how can we accept from him selling and buying, marrying? In marriage, what are the pillars of marriage? Al-ijab wal-qubul. What is al-ijab? When the father says, I give you my daughter in marriage. Qabul is acceptance, and the man says, I accept. So the mute goes to get married, and the father says, I give you my daughter in marriage. And he says, no, sorry, no marriage. You have to say, I accept. He cannot say. And therefore, the ease of the Sharia makes it sufficient for him to sign, to give a sign. Yes, okay. The poor thing doesn't know what awaits for him, but alhamdulillah. And also in selling and buying. In selling and buying for someone who cannot speak, because normally speaking, also transactions must be having these pillars, al-ijab wal-qabul. So the seller says, I give you my watch for 500 riyals, and you say, I accept. For someone who cannot speak, this is not applicable, so the sign would do the job, inshaAllah. 7th and 8th and 9th, they all go in the same meaning. So this is wholesale. Al-ma'rufu urfan kal-mashruti shartan. That which is known by custom is like that which is stipulated. Number 8, at-ta'yinu bil-urf kat-ta'yini bin-nas. Specifying via customs is like specifying via the texts. And finally, 9, al-ma'rufu bayna at-tujjar kal-mashruti baynahum. What is customary between traders is just like what is stipulated by them. And all of this has the same meaning, in the sense that whatever we agree upon, whether we're traders, we are professionals, we're doctors, the people, this is all considered to be part of the customs, and it becomes binding. I go to a place that sells furniture in parts, and the customs in the area we live in, that if you buy something that is in parts, it has to be installed by the company. So I go and I buy worth of so much money. I give the money, they give me the receipt, and I say, okay, when are you going to come and install it, assemble it home? I said, no, we're not doing that. We don't do that anymore. I don't know how to do it. Said, you have to pay something extra. No, I'll take you to the police. And the police comes and the judge comes and he said, yes, this is the norm, this is a custom. So